Good day, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of the Vise Squad, brought to you by Togen's Fly Shop and Dr. Slick Tools. This week, I think I mentioned last week we might tie a caddis pattern. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't, I can't remember. But that was the plan. This is not a caddis pattern, as you probably can tell. That is the Rainbow Warrior, which we'll tie today. Pretty fun and easy little bug. Super effective. Trout seem to like them, so let's tie one. So in the vise, we're going to put a size 14 barbless jig hook from Togens, and this is a 1/8 pink tungsten bead. We're going to use some 70 denier red UTC thread, which will start behind the bead. We'll snip off the tag end, and we'll run that back to the bend. Next, we're going to grab some red pheasant tail. I'm sure it probably doesn't matter what color you use. I figured red would accompany the thread really nicely. And I'm going to grab 5 of those fibers. And I'm going to make sure all my tips are lined up, like so. And we're going to tie those right on the top side, or I guess the underside of this hook. So we'll put a couple wraps in there just to hold it. And I'm going to pull those fibers until I get my tail length that I'm after, which is about the hook gape. And then we'll just keep running our thread forward. And I'm going to run it right up to the bead. And I'll bend those backwards and snip the butts out. Next, I'm going to run that thread to the back, and I'm going to put a loop underneath those tail fibers, and then one just ahead of that, and hopefully that splays them out. Let's try 2 thread wraps underneath, see if we can get it to go. That's a little better. All right, next for the body, I'm going to use a piece of crystal flash. The crinkly stuff, not the flat stuff. In this is opal or clear or whatever color your brand calls it that you're using. And I'm going to tie that in on my side of the hook, and it will flatten itself out. That's what's nice about using this. It will straighten itself out all on its own. So we'll tie that in really well, and then I'm just gonna use my thread to make a little tapered body. All the way up to the bead. So put a little bit of a dam in there to stop that thing from rolling backwards on us. So I want a fairly slim profile, because what we're trying to achieve is when this hits the water that it's just going to dive, and we're going to get it down deep and in a hurry. And I think if you build that body too bulky, that's going to just give you more resistance on the way down. So next we'll take that flash and we'll just start wrapping it forward. It's fairly thin, it will take quite a few wraps. When you do this, you'll see it will flatten itself out and take the twist and crinkle out of it. And we'll work that right to the bead. Throw a few capturing wraps in there. Get rid of the excess. I'm just going to wind my thread back just a few turns. And then we're going to put a bit of dubbing on. In this case, I don't have any other rainbow dubbing other than some sow scud dubbing from Wapsi. It's rainbow colored and it looks quite good on there. So we're going to put just a tiny little collar on there. Don't want to put too much. It's a very small thin noodle. We'll wrap that like so. And then we'll finish behind the bead with some extra wraps just as a hot spot. I'll grab our whip finish tool. Double it up. Snip that out of there. I'll drop a head cement and she's all done. Very, very basic fly. Great to fish. Like so. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. You won't miss any of our content. We've got all sorts of new content coming on. We just had another new channel actually start for our female anglers out there, and go check it out. It's going to have some great content from some really talented ladies. And if you wouldn't mind going and checking out our online store, which is fishingandoutdoors.ca, you can go and check out our sponsors products as well. That's Dr. Slick and Togans. You can buy them through our store. It doesn't cost you any extra, but it definitely helps keep us rolling. And there's also a ton of stuff on there. I know Rick was doing some upgrades to it, but once it's up and running again, it's going to be better than it ever was. So at any rate, until next week, everyone, we'll try and do a caddis pattern next week. I'll figure out when. I have one in mind. It's going to be it's definitely more an advanced fly, but fun to tie nonetheless. Until next week, thanks everyone.